Alright guys, welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. So, on today's video, the idea was to take on Infinite Dragon Ball history using a single team that could clear all the missions, the category missions and hopefully the turn requirement missions. Now, I had taken this level on before with a team that wasn't actually optimal and I died after 3 stages. So, when you see the achievements or the missions popping at the end, you'll notice that not all of them pop at the one time, but the ones that do pop at the one time are the category cleared, the 2 categories cleared and also the turn requirements. So this team itself is capable of doing everything in the one run. Now, depending on the team you bring into this, these characters can actually hit quite hard. I would actually say that they can hit harder than probably, it's debatable, but any of the other Infinite Dragon Ball histories. I might go as far to say that this one's the toughest one. I don't know, it's still a bit of a toss up to be honest, because Broly can be hard depending on what you're taking into it. But for the missions, to do them both with one team, I'd say this one was probably the hardest. Maybe tied with the Youth World Tournament one. But anyway, as you'll see here, these Boo characters can put up quite a bit of damage, and it really caught me off guard the first time we went into this mission. So what I did was I decided that I would take along a Transformation Goku, because obviously he meets the requirement for Super Saiyan 3. And I took along 3 Last Resort units and 2 other Super Saiyan 3 units so that I had like everything there to complete the missions. Now, for the friend lead, I decided to tie them together with a Gohan. The reason I use Gohan is because all the characters on the team were Kamehameha units, and obviously using Gohan you're going to get more of a leader skill boost than if you had used a double Transformation Goku. So I would recommend doing something like that, because if you tried to do this using separate teams, like you'd probably do it no bother at all using a full Last Resort team. That wouldn't be an issue. But I imagine trying to do this with just a Super Saiyan 3 team could probably be quite difficult. So if you kind of mix it up and do something along the lines of what I've done here, you might find it's a wee bit easier to get yourself all the missions done. And if you're someone who likes to try and do them in one run as well, a build like this would work better for you. So you can kind of tell right away that bringing Gohan was a good idea, because as soon as he pops a few super attacks, he becomes like probably one of the best tanks in the game, and you'll see quite early on in this run that he was tanking damage pretty well. Obviously characters like that, Transformation Goku, were a bit of a worry throughout the run, and I wasn't able to do it without using items, because to get the turn requirement I had always planned to use items on this run anyway, because I wanted to use Bulma to try and speed through the early rounds, because I didn't know like quite how difficult it was going to get later on, and I wasn't sure if the 27 turns was an easy requirement to meet or if it was actually going to be quite difficult. It turns out it's not that bad. You could easily have probably beaten it without using the Bulma items, and like basically had a bit more of a safety net when it came to healing items. Now for runs like this, I think the blue fusions are really a good way to go. I could have obviously brought on the new STR Vegito, and if I'm totally honest, I just forgot. I forgot I could bring him, and I may well have brought him in place of Gogeta, but as it turned out, Gogeta was absolutely fine for this run, and he done exactly what I needed him to do. The one character that I am glad I brought along, and I would say that is definitely worthwhile bringing, would be Physical Vegito Blue, if you've got him easy aid, because with his counters and stuff like that, and his multiple super attacks, I found him to be like really useful on this run. So as you can see here, the only reason I brought along the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the green one, is just because he's a Kamehameha unit. I kinda would have rather brought the Easy A one if I'm honest, but because he ticked the Kamehameha requirement, he was the one that made the cut. And he does do okay when it comes to taking damage as well. You can see there he's still taking double digits at that point. That Goku, however, I just wanted him off rotation all the time. I don't find that character very good personally, and I'm guessing I'm not the only one. I think the most difficult turns for me probably on this on this team, I think, where the int runs, there's 2 back-to-back int runs. In fact, quite a lot of these phases are back-to-back, the same typing, which I found a little bit different from the norm anyway. So depending on what you bring along, your rotations can get a bit dicey. So like here, this one, I mean, obviously I knew Gohan was just going to take everything, so there was really no problems at all with that. But damage wise, I knew I wasn't going to clear this one right away. And I was still a bit concerned at this point that the turn requirement wouldn't be doable, only because, as I said, I hadn't got any further. I think this was the furthest I'd got up to this point. I'd tried it twice, basically using the same team twice. I don't know why I'd done that. I don't know why I decided to go with the double transformation Goku lead. As soon as I brought Gohan on as the second leader, it made such a difference to the run that I would actually go out my way to tell people that you should do something like that, because it will make your life a hell of a lot easier than trying to use 2 transformation Gokus. Now I think this is the last turn and we beat him here, because the blue fusions are really starting to come into their own at this point. They've had a few turns to build up, they're hitting for decent damage, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think they start to steal the show from here on out. I'm curious to try it again with STR Vegito. I do need to get some orbs for my own one, because I did manage to pull a dupe of them and I'm so tapped out on red orbs. I'm actually not able to unlock his path just now, which is just mental. I mean, by the time the weekend comes and we get the potential map that runs the whole weekend, it'll not really be a problem, because I'll be able to mop up orbs at that point. But yeah, I think it was round about now that it took a little bit longer. I don't think it took a hell of a long time to get through, but I think it started to take a little bit longer from here on out, just for the next 2 rotations, because they're both back-to-back int rotations, and I was really relying on physical Vegito Blue to come back onto rotation so that I could actually do some damage. So while this is playing out, obviously we've had Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road launching on Global today. I've got a couple of them in the bag just now. I'm going to put them up on the channel over the next couple of days. Drop a comment down below and let me know 2 things. One, how have you been getting on with this Infinite Dragon Ball history? How do you find it? Do you think it's harder than the last few that we've had, or did you sail through it no bother at all? And what's your progress like so far on Extreme Super Battle Road? Is it more difficult than you thought it was going to be? Is it kind of coming in the way you thought it was going to be, or are you just nowhere near being able to do it? Well, turns out that level went a little bit faster than I thought, so I don't know, I think I might actually clear this one quite quickly as well. I don't know why I got hung up on the int units. Maybe I remembered it wrong, even though I only done it like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, Vegito Blue is doing not bad numbers there. Still reckon he's the best EZA. There's a lot of debate about it. People still debate who's the best EZA, but I think for the time being at least, it's still definitely that guy. Yeah, the Vegito combo's finishing this year. I can remember it now. I think after this it's West Supreme Kaibu. Yeah. So this is actually the second last stage. And from what I can remember, this stage was actually really easy. Stick Gohan up front, because even if he gets super attacked, it's not going to do anything to him at all. It's another character I love. I don't even think he needs to transform. People get so hung up on him not being able to transform. I understand, because the animations when he does his super attack are great. When he gets his KO screen, that's obviously great as well. So I get why people get hung up on the transformation. But even when Gohan doesn't transform, he's such a good character that I don't think it matters. times like that I kind of wonder if I should put dodge equipment onto Gogeta. Go away, Goku. Nobody wants you on rotation. I like the animation for his transformation, but as a character he's just not so great. Yeah, so this is it here. This finishes this round and it takes us on to the final rotation, which is against Kid Buu. I will tell you now, I do use a healing item against Kid Buu, and I just do it as a precautionary measure because I didn't want to fail this. And once again the Vegito combo gets it done. See, a lot of people are suddenly undervaluing Vegito. Seen a lot of people talking on social media, talking on Reddit and stuff like that, saying they just don't rate him anymore. They think he's overrated as a character, he's not any good. I don't know where this is coming from all of a sudden. There's no way the Blue Fusions still aren't top tier units. Yeah, for Super Battle Road, they're not at all. They get absolutely smashed on Super Battle Road because they don't have time to build up. But for modes like this, they're definitely top tier units. And I think anybody that's kind of talking them down is just in that frame of mind that whenever a new unit comes out, they need to kind of talk down the older units for some reason. And I don't really get that mindset in this game. It would make sense if it was a PvP game, but with it not being PvP, I don't really understand why people try and constantly downgrade characters. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't even make sense in a PvP game, to be honest, but more so in this. I think, I'm fairly sure this is the last turn. So anyway guys, I've had a lot of new subscribers to the channel over the last day, mainly thanks to my collab with Noah. I'm hoping to do more stuff like that in the future. He says he's open to doing another collab. I need to think of an idea though, and obviously if I can do stuff with other creators going forward, I'd love to do that as well. But I want to thank you all for joining me on the channel. I hope you stick with it because I am going to try and change the kind of content I put out, try and mix it up, do some different things. But again, thanks for subbing and I hope you stick around. And that is the run finished, and it's all the missions done on Infinite Dragon Ball history using one team, and we should get confirmation of that now. So like I say, it shows 5 missions because I did do a couple of levels and then I died. But that team there was enough to get all the category missions and the turn count done. So anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll catch you on the next Dokkan Battle video.